fugitive found. The law catching up with Stephen Grant, the man suspected of killing and dismembering his wife.
We're confident that he was probably going to be spending life in prison as a result of murdering his wife, Carolyn Grant.
Tonight, why he's lucky police found him when they did. Coming home, the surviving members of that tragic bus crash flying back to Ohio, along with the remains of their teammates who didn't make it. Tots smoking pot. Shocking video of two dopes who gave dope to toddlers. Plus, showdown in Selma. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton down south in a battle for the black vote. And how a desperate police search for this child all began because of a movie about a magical kingdom.
Covering the globe, fair and balanced. News at the speed of live. From New York, this is the Fox Report with Trace Gallagher.
First, they found his wife's mutilated torso in the family garage. Now police have found him more than 200 miles away from his home in the Detroit suburbs. He is 37-year-old Stephen Grant, husband of Tara Lynn Grant, now the prime suspect in her brutal murder, accused of chopping her up and hiding her remains days before Valentine's Day. Cops say he was literally on the run, jogging in the snow without shoes, and now suffering frostbite and hypothermia. But the sheriff says that won't stop him from facing justice.
We do believe he will be coming back here with a very short period of time to answer to the charges of the murder of his wife, Tara Lynn Grant.
Investigators say more body parts have turned up, and search teams were out again today looking for remains of the mother of two. And breaking tonight, word of a statement from Grant's hospital bed. The suspect saying he misses his kids, he loves them, and he looks forward to seeing them as soon as possible. Jeff Goldblatt on Fox Top Story live from Mount Clemens, Michigan. Jeff.
Trace, no jacket, no shoes, no luck. Stephen Grant had not one of those things with him this morning when he was arrested at a remote state park in northern Michigan. Authorities telling us that Grant had no intention of turning himself in and may have tried to let Mother Nature do him in. It was early this morning when all this unfolded. Law enforcement, however, getting a tip last night that Grant might be in Emmett County, and at 8:45 last night, found his vehicle in an area known as Wilderness State Park. An air and ground search ensued and went through the night. Then this morning at 6:30, 3 miles from his vehicle and deep in the woods, law enforcement found Grant hiding under a tree and arrested him without incident. He was alone and suffering from exposure from being outside in below freezing temperatures for more than 8 hours. He was airlifted then by a Coast Guard helicopter to a nearby hospital where he's in stable condition for hypothermia and signs of frostbite to his feet.
I don't think he probably could have made it much longer in those kind of conditions at 14 degrees. And plus, when sunrise comes, it gets a lot colder. I wouldn't want to be out there unless I was dressed for it.
While the search for Stephen is over, a related search continued today for additional remains of Grant's wife, Tara. Her torso found in the garage of the family home on Friday. Yesterday, a search of the park near the home yielded additional body parts linked to Tara by authorities. Today, more parts found, authorities refusing to get into specifics on their discovery. The sheriff of this Detroit area county, where Grant will be extradited when he's released from the hospital, says his heart goes out to the family of Tara Grant, specifically her kids, ages 4 and 6, who now face a life without their mother, and their father now looking at the potential of life behind bars. Trace?
Jeff Goldblatt live tonight in Mount Clemens, Michigan. An emotional journey as the families of the college students killed in Friday's bus crash bring their children home. 3 of the bodies arriving late this afternoon in Dayton, Ohio. 1 set of remains flew back last night. Friday, after news of the tragedy broke, the parents of the Bluffton University baseball team told they could fly for free to and from Georgia. And just minutes from now, a live report from Atlanta, where federal investigators say the highway exit ramp that the bus barreled off is notorious for accidents. A pause for prayer. Students, teachers, and much of Enterprise, Alabama gathering this weekend at memorials for the young lives lost. 8 students, each with a special place in the heart of the close-knit community, died Thursday when a tornado slammed into their high school. Now they begin picking up the pieces of their lives while picking through a staggering amount of debris. Marianne Silber live tonight in Enterprise, Alabama. Marianne.
Trace, there is debris everywhere, but today was really a day of hope. Hundreds of volunteers came out from all over, including a lot of high school students who lost their good friends, their fellow classmates. They came out doing things like offering food and helping clean up debris. That effort has just stopped a few minutes ago. The mayor said that there's a curfew after 8 o'clock. It looks like people are adhering to that. But earlier today, the debris clearing out was going on all day, including getting vehicles off of the top of homes. There's so much cleaning up to be done. Electric crews were out all day long, also restoring power. But there was also a very touching moment when a father saw the Enterprise High School for the first time. He was serving in Iraq. Bill Tompkins was serving in Iraq when he received the news that his son, 17-year-old Michael Tompkins, was killed when a hallway inside the school came down on top of him. Here's what he had to say.
Through it all, I mean, we're trusting God. We got our Savior Jesus Christ, and we know that that's where our son's at. He's with them before the throne, and he's in a better place, and he won't have to deal with anything like this anymore.
A very difficult time for the families who are grieving those 8 students who lost their lives when the tornado hit. As far as the students go, there is some talk that they will be moved to a brand new elementary school that's been built here in Enterprise to finish out the school year. And tomorrow, the cleanup effort here will continue. Trace.
Marianne Silver live for us tonight in Enterprise, Alabama. Gridlock at U.S. Airways main hub in Charlotte. The computer system behind the self-serve kiosks crashed, leaving at least 500 passengers unable to check in. Many passengers missed their flights and waited more than an hour just to get their boarding passes. The problem stemming from U.S. Airways' switch to a new reservation system. The same computer glitch also causing delays in Philadelphia. It was the center of a bloody battle for civil rights in the 60s. Today it became a political battleground as one man tries to become America's first black president. Illinois Senator Barack Obama in Selma, Alabama. 42 years to the day since the Bloody Sunday March, when police beat back civil rights marchers with billy clubs, tear gas, and bullwhips as they tried to cross the bridge out of Selma. Just down the block, a different church, a different choice for the Democratic nomination, for the candidate who could become the first woman president. The Obama and Clinton campaigns crossing paths, the battle for the black vote, and who was invited first, live to the civil rights Capitol coming up minutes from now. Inside Fox Report. On the GOP side, brand new details about a family feud. He was the kid who could not get enough of his father during his inauguration as New York City mayor 13 years ago. But now Rudy Giuliani's son says he and dad are on the outs. Andrew Giuliani today confirming that the cause of the tension is his stepmom. Mayor Giuliani married his current wife, Judith, in 2003 after a very public divorce with Andrew's mom, Donna Hanover. But Andrew says they are trying to work things out, and he does not want to hurt his dad's chances for the White House. Tots smoking pots. Shocking tape of kids learning to get high before they know how to tie their shoes. The mattresses are soft, well, they say, but so is the floor. The story of a woman who took a plunge and got stuck at a Sleepy's. Plus a collapse in Philadelphia, and it's not even football season. From the Fox News Hub in New York and Fox News teams around the globe, this is news at the speed of light. You're on the Fox Report from Fox News Channel.
The captioning for this program is brought to you by...
Does back pain limit your motion?
Get relief with Icy Hot Pro Therapy, powered by Hot Packs. Up to 8 hours of muscle-relaxing, pain-relieving heat.
Strong support plus powerful relief.
So, you got that free checking account from Regions?
Yep.
What if you win the $1 million?
Well, we'll buy those window treatments for the guest bedroom, and then we'd buy that 7-piece dinette set with the matching baker's rack.
And I would totally score the original captain's chair from Space Quest 2. It would be great.
Open a Regents free checking account, and you could win one of our weekly $10,000 prizes and have a chance to win $1 million.
Hey, Vicky, everyone look that way.
You own your own business, and today, you're expecting a package. The thing is, you're going to be at every address in town, except your own.
Don't you worry about a thing.
All you need is a mailbox at the UPS store. We'll sign for your packages, receive your mail, and keep it secure until you can pick it up. And your business gets a real street address. So when it comes to your mail, let the UPS store worry about it. That's our thing.
Don't you worry about a thing.
The UPS store, the place for mailbox services and a whole lot more.
You love whole grains, chicken, salmon, and leafy greens. Help your cat eat just as healthy with Naturals from Purina Cat Chow. Delicious ingredients cats love and no added artificial flavors or preservatives. You live well, you eat right. Help your cat do the same. Naturals from Purina Cat Chow. Physical, emotional, complete. That's the Purina Cat Chow way of life.
This is you. You've awakened in the dark because your sleep aid didn't give you a full night of sleep. And all you can do is lie there and wish you could go back to sleep. Tomorrow, ask your doctor about Lunesta. Non-narcotic Lunesta can help you sleep 7 to 8 peaceful, quiet hours. Lunesta helps you fall asleep quickly, so take it right before bed. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Always talk to your doctor first before taking sleep aids for extended periods. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Do not take Lunesta with alcohol. Most sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Tomorrow night, leave the rest to Lunesta.
Tonight, these lucky lotto winners turned their home into a house of booze, drugs, and wild sex. Now their 4-month bender is about to go bust.
After 52 complaints, enough is enough.
Has their luck just run out? Geraldo has the outrageous story tonight. Bashing Obama, trashing Hillary, slamming the ACLU. Finally, there's a show for the rest of us. You made us the #1 new show on cable, so this time, we'll hit them even harder. Tonight, don't miss an all-new half-hour news hour.
It can be difficult to navigate, and this is not the first accident to happen there. Federal investigators saying that about an exit ramp on I-75 in Georgia, the scene of that horrific bus crash that killed 4 college baseball players. Check out what drivers see as they exit the express lane. A ramp splitting off to the left of the freeway, ending at a 3-way intersection. More on the investigation into this terrible crash now with Laura Ingle, live tonight in Atlanta. Laura.
Hi, Trace. Well, people here in Atlanta say they have almost done the exact same thing that this bus driver did, apparently mistaking the exit ramp for a continuing carpool lane. And that's because the exit ramp is on the left-hand side of the interstate. Usually we see that on the right-hand side. Now, there are signs indicating that there is an exit coming up, but it could have been confusing for the driver that plunged off the overpass, taking most of the Bluffton University baseball team with him. You can see here that there are exit and stop signs on the ramp, which state transportation officials say are in line with federal safety standards. But state officials can't make changes to that ramp until they review the recommendations of the National Transportation Safety Board. NTSB investigators are taking a close look at the ramp's crash history. There have been more than 70 over the last few years. Tonight, investigators have ruled out mechanical failure, and they are looking at the exit design and operator error as the cause of this crash. 2 members of the Bluffton University baseball team remain in critical condition here at Grady Memorial Hospital. Their coach has been in surgery for injuries to his face today. The beloved leader of the team was sitting in the front of the bus when it crashed. Now tonight he is in serious condition. He can't talk, but is able to write notes and is said to be asking about his teammates and to see what has happened to everybody. All 4 of the team members that were killed in this crash have been flown back to Ohio this weekend, 1 yesterday and 3 today.
The individual families are planning their own funeral services, and as we learn about those details, we'll be sharing them with the campus community. We will have a memorial service on campus once we resume classes in a week.
Some of the players that were released from the hospital and who are still here in Atlanta have been coming here to this hospital and the 2 other ones where the team members are to visit them. Family members who have been holding vigil at these hospitals and at a local command center say they continue to pray and are hoping that they can bring everybody home to Ohio. Trace.
Laura Ingle live tonight in Atlanta. Big John's big farewell in Massachusetts, and kicking off the fast and the furry race in Alaska, as Fox reports across America. Massachusetts, thousands of people coming out to say a last goodbye to the USS John F. Kennedy battleship, the aircraft carrier in the capital on the last leg of its farewell tour before being decommissioned. Big John, as it's affectionately known, was commissioned back in 1967. California, cleaning up last week's landslide in San Francisco. Property owners hiring private contractors to try and fix the problem. But it's not going to be easy. An expert says water remaining on the hillside appears to be pushing the rock outward, and more wet weather or an earthquake could cause the hillside to collapse further. Pennsylvania, a historic part of Philadelphia, now history itself. A series of thunderous explosions bringing down the Philadelphia Hall, the four-story building part of the old Civic Center. The implosion makes way for an expansion of the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Alaska, more than 1,000 dogs and 82 mushers heading out on this year's Iditarod sled dog race. Competitors lining up in Anchorage for the ceremonial start to the 1,100-mile grueling race. This year, almost half the teams are rookies, and they'll be up against 6 past Iditarod champions. And that's Fox Watch across America. Well, a woman in Philadelphia may not be trusting Sleepy's anytime soon. Cops say she fell through a hole in the second floor of the mattress store, plunging 6 feet down to the first floor ceiling. That hand, see, sticking through the roof with the blue sleeve? Yep, that's her. Wedged between the 2 floors for more than an hour. Firefighters had to reinforce the ceiling before they could pull her out. Apparently, the building was under construction, and the hole used to be a stairwell. Aside from a few aches and pains, word is she's fine. A terrifying tale for pricey pups and the family dog snatched at gunpoint. Tonight, news that takes a bite out of crime. Bipartisan promises after mold and vermin infestations were uncovered at the hospital where America's war veterans are being treated. What lawmakers are demanding be done about conditions at Walter Reed Army Medical Center, plus rebuilding a disaster area. The challenges facing a community as folks sift through the mangled mess of homes, trees, cars, boy, about everything else, as Fox reports tonight.
This program is brought to you by 3M Privacy Filters. Get yours at 3mprivacyfilter.com.
Keep wandering eyes off your laptop. Reassuring, removable 3M Privacy Filters. Now you see it, now they don't. Find yours at 3mprivacyfilter.com.
I'm Pete. I've had nice bosses, mean bosses, short bosses, tall bosses, she bosses, he bosses, they bosses, serious bosses, nervous bosses, and one kind of funny boss. Now I'm the boss, and my plan is to keep the boss happy.
You do what you love. We'll help you keep your investments on track. Fidelity Retirement Income Advantage. Call 1-800-FIDELITY. Smart move.
I want to treat my osteoporosis. I want to keep my bones healthy.
I want to protect myself against fractures, especially at the hip.
I can help. Fosamax Plus D treats postmenopausal osteoporosis.
My doctor prescribed Fosamax Plus D, and she said not all treatments are the same.
Only Fosamax Plus D is approved to help prevent fractures of both the hip and spine in women with osteoporosis. Boniva is not.
Protecting my hip is important to me.
You should not use Fosamax Plus D if you have certain disorders of the esophagus, are not able to stand or sit upright for 30 minutes, have severe kidney disease, or low blood calcium. Before use, talk to your doctor if you have stomach or digestive problems and about any medications you're taking, including vitamins and supplements. It's not for vitamin D deficiency. Stop taking Fosamax Plus D and call your doctor right away if you develop new or worsening heartburn, difficult or painful swallowing, or chest pain, because these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
I listened. I heard.
Fosamax Plus D. the only one that protects both your hip and spine.
In our family, if it's not going to be easy, it's probably not going to happen.
Everything's simple with the Charter bundle.
And we are all over simple.
I started with Charter Digital Cable. I added Charter Telephone.
And then we added Charter High-Speed Internet.
No drama.
Easy.
No problems.
And now all my Charter services are on one bill.
Now that's simple.
And simple is something we can definitely handle.
Get Charter high-speed internet and telephone together for just $59.98 per month for 6 months. Call today.
You are black, even a little dandruff shows.
That's why more people are switching from ordinary dandruff shampoo to Selsun Blue, doctor recommended for flakes and itch, with aloe and moisturizers for healthier hair and scalp. Make the switch.
Never wear black without the blue. Selsun Blue.
When I wear black, I don't want flakes, but I do want healthy hair.
Then switch to Selsun Blue Salon.
So soft, so rich.
No flakes, no itch.
Maximum dandruff relief, rich with vitamins and moisturizers. Selsun Blue Salon. Never wear black without the blue.
4 Yorkshire puppies dog-napped at gunpoint, now reunited with their owners. The pricey pups, worth about $2,500 each, taken more than a week ago. That's when 2 would-be buyers turned out to be armed robbers. One of the guys pulling a gun while the others scrambled to round up the puppies. After the tape aired, the father of one of the suspects made him turn himself in. The other still on the run, and 1 puppy is still missing. Well, you have to see it to believe it. 2 little boys, ages 5 and 2 years old, smoking weed. Their uncle accused of teaching them to smoke pot. Cops were investigating a burglary when they found the home video. One little boy seen smoking a joint all by himself. The other smoking with some help from the teens. Mom says she was sound asleep at the time. Now the kids are in protective custody and the suspects facing a storm of Texas justice. Molly Line live tonight in the New York newsroom. Molly.
Well, Trace, the word police used to describe this video is repulsive. It shows 2 teenagers pushing pot on 2 little kids, one of them a toddler. In the video, a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old are seen being pressured to puff this marijuana while the suspects sit by laughing. They call the boys potheads and ask them if they have the munchies. Now, those 2 teens could spend a long time in jail. 18-year-old Van Swan Potley and 17-year-old Demetris McCoy, he's the children's uncle, are facing felony charges. 2 counts each of injury to a child. Police may also charge the 16-year-old they believe shot this video. The whole reason this video was found was because investigators were looking into a string of local burglaries that they believe Pulte and McCoy took part in.
26 years in the business, I've never seen anything quite like this at all.
Adding to the shock, this video was shot in a home across the street from an elementary school, and police believe it's not the first time these little boys have been pushed to smoke pot.
A child's lungs and children's tissues generally are vulnerable to insult from any chemical. And certainly this would not do them any good.
The mother of these 2 little boys says she was home at the time, but claims that she was sleeping in another part of the house. The 2 children are now in the custody of Child Services. Trace?
Molly Line live for us in New York. Dope and dynamite pulled out of this home in Plantation, Florida. Cops say they found about $250,000 worth of pot plants, and that's not all. The bomb squad called in to handle boxes of illegal explosives. One of the suspects led away without handcuffs because he's missing a hand. Cops say he accidentally blew it off last year while handling, again, illegal explosives. 36-year-old, 39-year-old Dwight Parker and 46-year-old James Rich are now under arrest. Well, 2 big presidential contenders crossing paths on the campaign trail. Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama giving speeches just down the block from each other on a landmark day in the civil rights movement. The showdown in Selma coming up. Snowshoeing in the mountains of Montana when an avalanche strikes a group of friends. Their race to rescue each other also coming up. And it's the #3 cause of death for American women. Next, what women everywhere need to know about preventing and surviving a stroke.
Can an odor-free cream stand up to your back pain?
You bet if it's Aspercream.
Aspercream is clinically proven to knock out the pain with the maximum strength formula that's odor-free. Arthritis pain stopped?
You bet if it's Aspercream.
There's a new pulse in the world. Oral-B Pulsar, a whole new kind of manual brush. Micropulse bristles pivot and pulse deep between teeth for a truly superior clean. Oral-B Pulsar.
Life's full of surprises. That's why no one is more focused on getting your car back to normal than your farmer's agent. Farmers Auto Insurance. Get you back where you belong.
To find a farmer's agent near you, call 1-800-FARMERS.
The Verizon Wireless Broadband Access Card transforms any time into productive time. So when you're on the go, so is the network. It's 100% business and 0% office. Connect to email, downloads, and browse the internet while working on America's most reliable wireless broadband network. To learn more, visit our website or a store near you.
At Stanford, we take a different approach to private wealth management. Our globally diversified investment strategy is implemented by some of the best and brightest in the industry. Individuals who are committed to doing the hard work necessary to stay one step ahead of the world's ever-changing investment climate. Our people are what set us apart. Hard work, clear vision, value for the client. Stanford.
It was so frustrating, like a mystery I couldn't solve. Night after night, strange sensations in my legs kept me from falling asleep. So I had to get up and move when all I wanted to do was rest. I had restless leg syndrome. My doctor confirmed it. He said with restless leg syndrome, the symptoms usually get worse at night or in the evening when it's time to relax. And then he said something else, Requip. He said Requip would help relieve those RLS symptoms that kept me from getting to sleep. He told me what to watch for, that Requip may cause you to fall asleep or feel very sleepy during normal activities such as driving, or to faint or feel dizzy when you stand up. Tell your doctor if you experience these problems, or if you drink alcohol or are taking medicines that make you drowsy. Side effects include nausea, drowsiness, vomiting, and dizziness. Most patients were not bothered enough to stop taking Requip. Thanks to Requip, the RLS mystery is not keeping me up anymore. Ask your doctor if Requip can help put your RLS to rest.
A promise for quick action to clean up the tarnished crown jewel of Army hospitals. Lawmakers from both sides of the aisle saying living conditions at Walter Reed Army Medical Center are unacceptable. Now senators are calling for an independent investigation, and the commander-in-chief himself is ordering a bipartisan commission to review the entire network of care for our war wounded. Greg Jarrett with a Fox report from Washington. Greg.
Trace, the Army Secretary and 2 generals got the boot, but recriminations continue over the scandal at Walter Reed Army Medical Center amid reports of abysmal conditions and poor treatment for war-wounded troops. Reports surfaced that some soldiers were being medically neglected, others forced to live in rooms with mold and peeling paint, stained carpets, even rodent infestation. There is evidence that those in charge knew or should have known of the substandard care. Some brain injury patients allegedly had to wait weeks for doctor appointments. Defense Secretary Robert Gates getting high marks for moving quickly to fire people at the top, including Francis Harvey, Army Secretary. Congressman John Murtha said administrators deliberately chose not to use money allotted by Congress because the medical center is slated to be moved in 3 years.
It's very clear to me they weren't doing their job and that they were not using the money as they should. It's one thing to put money into it, which we try to do all the time, but what they didn't do and what's so frustrating is they didn't show the leadership to take that money and fix that building up, and that's a disgrace.
Well, nobody is defending the accounts of dilapidated buildings and shoddy treatment, but Senator Lindsey Graham said the larger picture of good medical care should not be overlooked.
Generally speaking, the medical care given to our veterans and people wounded in the Iraqi war is second to none. There's literally lives being saved in this war that would never have been saved.
Well, the House is holding a hearing tomorrow at Walter Reed. Those responsible may be held to account for their actions or inactions. President Bush has ordered an immediate fix and will appoint a bipartisan panel to investigate. more heads may roll before this thing is over. Trace?
Greg Jarrett in D.C. tonight. From America's leading news network, this is the Fox Report. It's the bottom of the hour, time for the top of the news. A mother of two found in several pieces, her husband now under arrest for murder and mutilation. Police say they found Stephen Grant running on foot through the snow more than 200 miles from his home. Investigators also say they have found more of his wife's remains. A small town in agony as parents return with their children's remains. The Bluffton University baseball team coming home after their bus plunged off an overpass in Georgia, killing 4 young teammates. 42 years after the march to Montgomery, the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, is at the center of a political battle. Senators Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton both marching to mark a civil rights milestone as they battle for the black vote. Steve Brown with the top story at the bottom of the hour, live in Selma. Steve.
Trace, it was dueling political speeches from a couple of Democratic presidential contenders, plus a couple of high-profile cameos as well. All of it in commemoration of those Selma marchers of 42 years ago, and a chance for the candidates to pitch themselves to the African-American vote across the country as well. Barack Obama delivered the keynote address for today's observance. It is a political plum to be chosen, especially for a White House hopeful, and Obama said in his speech that his opportunities trace directly back to the Selma marchers.
Don't tell me I'm not coming home when I come to Selma, Alabama. I'm here because somebody marched for our freedom. I'm here because y'all sacrificed for me. I stand on the shoulders of giants.
Blocks away, Hillary Clinton was at another Selma church. Polls show her lead over Obama among African-American voters has narrowed rapidly. During her speech today, Clinton delivered a sometimes fiery civil rights tribute.
Our soldiers matter. Our standing in the world matters. Our future matters, and it is up to us to take it back, put it into our hands, start marching toward a better tomorrow.
And upping the ante on Obama, former President Bill Clinton was also here in support of his Senate wife. This was the first time that the former first couple has appeared since Senator Clinton announced her candidacy. Now, among those not impressed by the Obama and Hillary Clinton shows here was Al Sharpton, who described the hullabaloo, as he said, surrounding the two this way.
I'm one of the crowd that comes every year. You know, some folk come when they need something.
Sharpton aside, there are plenty of African-American leaders both here in Alabama and around the country who like the idea of their vote being courted and competed for by a couple of really high-profile Democrats. Trace?
Steve Brown live tonight in Selma, Alabama. Standing strong in tough times, a Georgia community stops to offer prayers after a deadly and direct hit by a tornado. Church is now a rallying point for the hard-hit rural area. In Americas, there's so much to be done after a twister tore a 1-by-6-mile scar across the land. Property appraisers in Sumter County estimate damages to be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Chris Gutierrez live tonight in Americus, Georgia. Chris.
Dozens of homes here in Americus, Georgia look just like this one. Tragically, 2 people huddled together in this house were killed Thursday night. And the man who lives next door in a house left virtually untouched knows that could have been him.
I'm just happy to be alive. I'm telling you the truth. It's amazing how them people right there next door, a few feet from me, I can hear about talk to them. The house was pretty close together.
Here now is an aerial view of the damage. In Sumter County, the path of destruction is 28 miles long, and in some places 3 miles wide. In Americus, one of the hardest hit areas, more than 500 homes were damaged and dozens more destroyed. This morning, many in this community gathered at the First Baptist Church in Americus to pray for the lives lost and all of those left with the tough task of rebuilding.
God didn't promise we wouldn't have trouble, but he did promise that he'd be with us through it. And we're going to pray together, going to pray for one another, going to pray for our community.
Words of encouragement are needed, especially when you hear some are looting from homes where there's not much to take. We watched today as authorities questioned a group earlier. They weren't arrested, but based on their suspicious behavior, they were told to leave and not come back. President Bush has promised federal assistance to help these families, and the Red Cross is helping, providing food, shelter, and clothing. Trace?
Chris Gutierrez in America's Georgia tonight. A deadly avalanche in the Montana mountains. Police say a 53-year-old man was snowshoeing with friends near Echo Lake when an avalanche buried him up to his neck. He was still breathing when his friends dug him out, but he later died before help arrived. No word yet on what may have triggered that avalanche. Folks in Illinois concerned about a river rising with ice. Giant slabs of ice pushing up against the riverbanks and the houses along it. Now families living there are being evacuated. This as crews in Iowa tackle a mangled mess that is now the power grid. Last week's storm coating everything in a thick layer of ice. Parts of the state have been in the dark for days. Rick Reichmuth standing by in the Fox Weather Center. Rick.
Well, yeah, Trace, we do have some big changes coming across much of the Northeast over the next couple of days. Your Monday not looking too bad, kind of a repeat of today with a few scattered flurries moving through. Temperatures into the 30s, certainly warmer down around D.C. and then across the southeast. Very nice in the southeast. We'll see a lot of sunshine, temperatures pretty comfortable. But we do have big changes coming for Tuesday, where we are going to see temps, believe it or not, feeling like some of the coldest we've seen all winter long. Highs only into the teens and lower 20s. It's going to be brief, though. By the end of the week, temperatures will warm back up right to around where we should be this time of year. Here's a look at some of that cold air. Duluth for 14 for your Monday, and down across much of the south. Once again, we'll see plenty of sunshine. In general, aside from that cold air, our weather pattern across most of the country is really pretty calm for this week, which a lot of folks certainly can use after all of the disturbing weather that we saw this last week. Now things much more calm. Here's a look at the West Coast. We're going to see a few showers. When you see this from Spokane down towards Lake Tahoe, that's all very, very light. Maybe a few showers as well from Seattle to Portland. Southern California, once again, conditions very nice. We'll see a lot of sunshine. Temperatures to around 70 in San Diego, into the mid-70s towards Los Angeles. And then look at this out across the Four Corners. Plenty of sunshine as well. Flagstaff to around 60. Phoenix is going to be pushing 80 degrees. And Vail, we're going to start to see a little bit of that snow melting with temperatures into the 40s. Trace, back to you.
Rick Reichmuth with the Foxcast. Urban warfare door to door, looking for lethal weapons and the people who use them on the streets of Baghdad. Well, it can reach up to 17,500 miles per hour, but today, a long, slow journey for Atlantis back out of the hangar. A special delivery that needed, a few extra stamps. One big mama who gave birth to one huge baby, size of a small child.
If you want all the nutrition of a bowl of instant oatmeal to go, you want Quaker oatmeal to go.
What ages you most? Dullness, brown spots, and wrinkles. Retaliate. New Definity UV Foam fights the look of what really ages you. Dullness, brown spots, and wrinkles. Voluminous, highly defined skin. New Olay Definity.
It's time to play Take on Orbits. This week's winner is you. That's right, you.
Save $200 on select 5-night trips to Jamaica, Paris, or Maui during the Feel the Love sale. Just orbits and go.
Always use protection.
It's the time of the season when love runs high. In this time,
Moving your 401ks to Fidelity is groovy. Our retirement specialists make it so easy, they'll even do most of the paperwork. You dig? Call 1-800-FIDELITY. Smart move.
Harry is a scratcher who keeps getting scratched. He needs the clear solution to a healthier scalp. Maximum Strength Scalpicin with vitamin E. Not a shampoo. Scalpicin stops unhealthy scratching that can cause scalp damage with the itch medicine dermatologists recommend. Ah, the all-day confidence of an itch-free scalp. Scalpicin, the clear solution to a healthier scalp.
When something really fits, you can feel it. Like the fit you get with C-Bond denture adhesive. It's the only wafer that has a gasket effect that locks dentures in place, gives you all-over coverage, all-over hold. No mess, no ooze.
When your dentures really fit, you can feel it.
The adhesive wafer with the gasket fit. C-Bond.
Just when you think the moment is right, it may have to wait a while. Relax. You have up to 36 hours with Cialis. Cialis is the only erectile dysfunction tablet clinically proven to work up to 36 hours. 36 hours can be the difference between being interrupted and being ready, when finally the moment is right. Tell your doctor about your medical conditions and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help if you experience priapism, an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease in vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away. So relax. Time is on your side. 36-hour Cialis. When the moment is right, will you be ready?
Hundreds of U.S. and Iraqi soldiers moving into Sadr City. The major push into the Shiite stronghold meeting no resistance. And the more than 1,000 U.S. and Iraqi forces entering the neighborhood didn't fire a single shot. Quite an accomplishment in one of the most dangerous places in Baghdad. U.S. commanders say our forces are now going door to door searching for both Shiite and Sunni extremists. It is the first major operation in the area since a security crackdown got underway last month. And it's only going down after long negotiations between U.S. commanders and allies of radical Shiite cleric Muqtada al-Sadr. Intense urban warfare between al-Sadr's powerful Mahdi army and the U.S. forces have been the norm in the past. Jennifer Griffin spoke to the general in charge of today's sweep. She's at Camp Liberty in Iraq. Jennifer.
Trace, the last time General Ray Odierno was in Iraq, his troops caught Saddam Hussein. That was back in December 2003. Now he's back trying to fix Iraq's problems. He took us south of Baghdad today. Here's what we saw. We took off from Baghdad in 2 Blackhawks from outside Saddam's Al-Faw Palace, where General Odierno commands 150,000 coalition troops. As we flew low over the floodplains of the Euphrates River, he explained to me the military's change in strategy. We landed 12 miles southwest of Baghdad in Yusufia, an area they call the Triangle of Death, a Sunni-dominated al-Qaeda-infested region, a one-time heart of darkness known for its kidnappings of Westerners, a main route into Baghdad for al-Qaeda's car bomb network. A few months ago, we could not have stood out in the open like this talking. But back in September, the 10th Mountain Division's 2nd Brigade Combat Team came in here, fought their way in, and now they have set up the first joint security station, patrolling alongside the Iraqi army and police. When local citizens start feeling safer, they start turning on the insurgents.
First, they see the security, they get confident. Then after a certain period of time, days, maybe weeks, then they start coming in to tell you what's going on and also ask for assistance.
Colonel Mike Kershaw and his men, like General Odierno, are also on their second tour.
Because when you talk to people here, when I talk to every one of my brigade or battalion commanders, every one of them have been here before. They have a good understanding of it. They understand what was good and bad the last time they were here and how they want to make it better. Yeah. And we've all learned.
There are so many things that these brigades have learned since they were last here. In fact, many of the soldiers were quoting Lawrence of Arabia to me today. They said they'd been reading the 7 Pillars of Wisdom back at Fort Drum, New York. But the biggest change is that they are living and fighting alongside the Iraqi security forces out in these troubled areas. And that's a big change from the past. At Camp Victory, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Inside a terrorist torture chamber, the military says it rescued 2 victims from certain death at an al-Qaeda in Iraq torture house near Fallujah. Both men tied up and gagged. One was hanged and beaten. The other, identified as an Iraqi police officer, had been shot in both ankles. The military also says it found more than 1 million pounds of chemicals commonly used in terror bombs. Civilians reportedly caught in the crossfire after militants ambushed the Marines in eastern Afghanistan. Witnesses telling the Associated Press that 16 people were killed after a car bomb exploded and U.S. forces opened fire on one of the busiest highways in the country. The military says incoming hostile fire may also be responsible for civilian deaths, since terrorist attacks launched a complex attack, that is, setting off a minivan filled with explosives, then firing on retreating special forces. Punishing Iran for ignoring UN sanctions, that is the goal of UN nuclear watchdogs meeting tomorrow. The agency expected to cut funding to dozens of Tehran's technical aid programs. Up until now, the Islamic Republic has refused to cooperate with the watchdog group. ignoring previous deadlines and prohibiting the IAEA's request to put up cameras in its nuclear facilities. And Tehran now taunting the West with a new high-denomination dollar. The bill for 50,000 rials, equivalent to a little more than $5 US, bearing the atomic symbol. Tehran says the new banknote marks the Islamic Republic's achievements in nuclear technology. China planning to increase its military budget by nearly 18% this year to $45 billion. Deputy Secretary of State John Negroponte voicing concerns about the move during a visit to Beijing. He says the communist nation should be more open about what he calls a military buildup. But China says most of the money will go toward boosting salaries and improving national defense. China has the world's largest military and has increased military spending every year since the early 1990s. A deadly bus wreck on the road to Morocco, and call it the land down under water. So get ready to go around the world in 80 seconds. Morocco, a bus skids off the edge of a treacherous mountain road. Reports say at least 9 people are dead, 45 others injured in the wreck. Cops say high speed and a mechanical problem may be to blame. Russia, 2 construction workers die in a building collapse in downtown Moscow. Walls and ceilings caving in on the first 2 floors. 3 others trapped under a mountain of rubble, saved by rescue workers. No word on why the building crumbled. Australia, Cyclone George, smashing rainfall records in the land down under. Folks in the north wading through knee-deep water. Entire towns cut off from the rest of the country. Part of the key railway line completely washed away. The area known for its saltwater crocodile population, so cops warning people to stay out of floodwaters. China, a Beijing bus driver giving birth to what's believed to be the world's 3rd biggest baby. The newborn weighing in at nearly 14 pounds. Mom, a former athlete. Not exactly a lightweight herself at 265. Doctors say the baby's doing fine, aside from some low blood sugar levels. And that's a wrap on this Fox trip around the world in 80 seconds. A spectacle in the sky. The first total lunar eclipse in nearly 3 years last night. Folks in Europe, South America, the Middle East, and the Midwest all got a look. The rare sight happens when the Earth comes between the sun and the moon. And if you missed it, there's another one coming up at the end of August. Sending the space shuttle Atlantis back to the hangar to inspect it for damage after it was hit by a hailstorm earlier this week. It's a 3.5-mile, 7-hour journey from the launch pad on the massive shuttle crawler. Atlantis was supposed to launch on the 15th. Now it's looking more like April, maybe June. Doctors say it's like having a heart attack in your brain. What doctors say every woman needs to know to cut their risk for having a deadly stroke. Plus, life imitating art. A young boy sets off deep into the woods seeking adventure. But when night falls, things do not go according to script.
When I was 12, I saw the ocean for the first time. I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I decided, one day, I'm going to have a house right on the water. And then, if I have kids, they can live there. And, you know, maybe their kids can have the house after them.
You once made a promise to yourself about your future. At John Hancock, we have the products you need to help build, protect, and sustain the future you've always wanted. John Hancock, the future is yours.
What should be difficult about talking on the phone? It works just like my old home phone service.
Simple.
Same phone equipment, same phone number.
I'm a huge fan of Simple.
Unlimited local and long distance on one simple plan.
If there were a Simple fan club, I would be president.
Even saving is simple.
That's right.
The bundle makes saving
simple.
Get Charter telephone for only $29.99 per month for 3 months. Call today.
Oh, you don't need
No, I don't.
Forget this,
yeah,
I'll
well,
leave it.
whatever. Every deadline and your mistakes are costing me a fortune. I'll see you in court.
Wait, don't get involved in a long and costly court battle. Consider another option for resolving disputes. Mediation. It's an alternative to the court process, is less costly, resolves disputes quickly. Mediation provides the communication to resolve disputes and create long-lasting agreements. Don't let dispute control your personal life or business. Call Para and Associates now.
A man once said, if you try to please everyone, you'll end up pleasing no one. Well, he obviously hasn't stayed at the Holiday Inn Express in Richland. That man would be pleasantly surprised to find a hotel filled with happy guests, each with very different reasons for being there, all with one thing in common, a smile. So I invite that man, whoever you are, to stay with us. We're certain you'll find everything you need right here. Everything. That's at the Holiday Inn Express in Richland.
Saving money is fun. 48 hours of savings? Now that's a whole lot of fun.
It's time to drop everything because everything is on sale during Furniture Row Outlet's 48-hour sale. Every item of furniture, every sofa, room group, dining table, chair, bedroom grouping, everything is on sale for 48 hours only. Plus, we're offering no payments and no interest for 1 year. We're holding nothing back. Everything is marked down for Furniture Row's 48-hour sale. Hurry, sale ends Tuesday at 9 p.m.
It's the #3 cause of death in American women, but it can be avoided with a few simple steps. Tonight, what every woman needs to know about preventing and surviving a stroke. In a Fox report from Paige Hopkins.
Emily Bennett has been working with heart patients since 1990.
I'm a transporter. I go pick up the patients and bring them down for their tests.
But 7 months ago, the wheels of motion changed, and this 40-year-old single mother of 3 unexpectedly became a patient.
My son said I wasn't speaking right, and I didn't look right.
She immediately went to her doctor.
My pressure was very high, and my mouth was twisted, and they told me I needed to go straight to the emergency room.
That's when Emily found out her slurred speech, facial droop, and left side weakness were the result of a transient ischemic attack, or a mini stroke.
Having a stroke is the same thing as having a heart attack, except it's in the brain. It's a lack of blood flow to the brain tissue, which causes the brain tissue to die.
Dr. Ronan Mansali is Emily's cardiologist at LIJ Medical Center. She comes in for weekly follow-up visits.
They take my blood pressure every Friday for me, so they can keep track of it. I get weighed in to see if I lost any weight.
So far, she's lost 26 pounds, but it hasn't been easy.
I have a big problem with junk food. So I have to get used to like the salads, the chicken, the fish, stay away from the double dogs, the ice cream.
Emily also takes medications to keep her blood pressure under control.
It's very important for all women to realize an optimal blood pressure is less than 120/80.
Meantime, Dr. Bonzali says every woman should be screened for high blood pressure because it's the biggest risk factor for having a stroke. Paige Hopkins, Fox News.
Well, we've been telling you about a warning from the U.S. government about children's over-the-counter cough and cold medicine. The FDA saying they're not safe and they may not work. Today, a doctor from New York University Medical Center explained to us why.
The bottom line is they can market it that way, and it isn't necessarily safe. We don't really have good evidence. The FDA used to be a lot more lax about how they regulated these medications. I mean, I can tell you if these medications were just coming out now, it would be a much stricter situation.
The new study saying some medication could lead to heart problems in kids under 2. Doctors say one solution is just to let the virus run its course, since cough medicines won't cure the common cold anyway. He ribbed the commander-in-chief right to his face. Took on our own Bill O'Reilly in the no-spin zone. Now wait till you hear the honor comedian Stephen Colbert is getting as Fox reports tonight.
He's the world's best salesperson.
My cholesterol showed up high. I gotta tell you what happened. Quaker oatmeal helped lower my cholesterol. Eat Quaker oatmeal for 30 days, see what happens to you. I actually dropped 8 points.
I think I could probably do about 9 or 10.
Bring it. Gave me something to smile about.
Right now, stay at any Best Western hotel and earn double points or double miles with our free loyalty program, Gold Crown Club International. And AAA members earn triple rewards. Now through April 13th. Join today at bestwestern.com.
So, you got that free checking account from Regions?
Yep.
What if you win the $1 million?
Well, we'll buy those window treatments for the guest bedroom, and then we'd buy that 7-piece dinette set with the matching baker's rack. And I would totally score the original captain's chair from Space Quest 2. It would be great.
Open a Regents free checking account, and you could win one of our weekly $10,000 prizes and have a chance to win $1 million.
Hey, Vicky, everyone look that way. Pew, pew.
Here's a cool way to test your online trading strategies. Send them back in time. Sending yourself back in time? Clearly not as cool. Fidelity's got tools like Wealth Lab Pro that let you test before you trade. What's your online broker got? Fidelity. Smart move.
I'm gonna miss you guys.
Congratulations.
Good luck, Gary. Bye-bye, thanks.
Bye, Care Bear.
Leaving one job for another?
Hey, Gary.
Don't forget to take your nest egg. Objective financial advice from A.G. Edwards can help you roll over your retirement money. A.G. Edwards, fully invested in our clients.
This is you. You've awakened in the dark because your sleep aid didn't give you a full night of sleep. And all you can do is lie there and wish you could go back to sleep. Tomorrow, ask your doctor about Lunesta. Non-narcotic Lunesta can help you sleep 7 to 8 peaceful, quiet hours. Lunesta helps you fall asleep quickly, so take it right before bed. Be sure you have at least 8 hours to devote to sleep before becoming active. Always talk to your doctor first before taking sleep aids for extended periods. Until you know how you'll react to Lunesta, you should not drive or operate machinery. Do not take Lunesta with alcohol. Most sleep medicines carry some risk of dependency. Side effects may include unpleasant taste, headache, drowsiness, and dizziness. Tomorrow night, leave the rest to Lunesta.
There's a new pulse in the world. Oral-B Pulsar, a whole new kind of manual brush. Micropulse bristles pivot and pulse deep between teeth for a truly superior clean. Oral-B Pulsar.
I was turning 50, and so were my eyes.
Nancy came into Pearl Vision for her annual checkup.
Now my eyes see perfectly.
They're Nancy's eyes, but they're my responsibility.
Come into Pearl Vision today and get 50% off all lenses.
Armed with a plastic sword, a 10-year-old in Florida set off in search of adventure after seeing the film Bridge to Terabithia. Problem is, he didn't tell anybody about it. His parents, worried sick after he went missing for hours, finally called the cops. Officers used ATVs, bloodhounds, and a chopper to search nearby woods, hoping the bright lights would lure the 10-year-old to safety. He was eventually discovered walking along an interstate.
I really appreciate everyone coming out and helping with the search. It took us a long time, but we found him and he's safe. I've seen him and he's okay. And I just want all of our family, thanks every one of you for coming out tonight and helping us look.
Police say no charges will be filed in the case. Ask him who the person of the year was, Stephen Colbert would say, Stephen Colbert. The comedy community agrees. The Aspen Comedy Arts Festival gave that honor to the imitation anchorman, calling the character that made him famous a, quote, well-intentioned, poorly informed, high-status idiot. He said it was an honor to receive it and an honor for them to give it. And on this day in 2005, Martha Stewart is released from prison. Stewart served 5 months for lying about her sale of M-clone stock back in 2001. She did her time in West Virginia at a minimum security prison for women known as, you remember it, Camp Cupcake. Stewart left prison in a dark SUV, heading straight for the airport and her estate in New York. The domestic diva turned ex-con 2 years ago today. And now you know the news as Fox reports this Sunday, March 4th, 2007, and still ahead, the most powerful primetime in all of cable news. Up next, Geraldo at Large. Then it's Hannity's America. I'm Trace Gallagher. Shep's off. He's on vacation, well-deserved. I'll see you back here for Studio B and Fox Report tomorrow. Thanks for having us in, and have a great night.
The Fox Report with Trace Gallagher, a presentation of Fox News Channel, the network America trusts, period.